Already to easily challenge the Gala, cell with Cascade Arsenal, hidden section bars, and reinforced cameras, which isn't really all that great for getting to the camera operator, and well, hidden section bars really doesn't help because we generally want to kind of know how close we are to getting caught by the random civilian that's staring at us from across the map, which we can't really do with hidden section bars, but we're still gonna do it regardless, just, well, it's probably not all that great of an idea, which, unfortunately, that is of absolutely zero use. So we're just gonna go over here just to cyber lure someone over here. And then afterwards we're just gonna quickly intercept the guard right over here, which is kind of perfect. So hopefully that, well, staff over there doesn't really notice anything or find anything of concern. So we're just gonna go over here, grab those guys over here, and then afterwards go over there and get a camera operator taken care of, which you are just gonna, well, go over there and presumably Cyber's gonna have this guys relatively soon, which is great and all, but there's presumably a camera right up over here, which is not that great, but doing that is always a solution, so we're just gonna go over here, head the cameras over here, and then presumably we're gonna be getting a guard walking over here relatively soon, which we will swiftly take care of. And of course, well, that's maybe not very optimal, but of course we're gonna have the Vault Keycard, well, immediately, which is great and all, except that we didn't really need it all that much right now, but that's perfectly fine. We'll just interrogate you over here before we, well, knock everyone out. And then presumably at some point in the future actually take care of all of the, well, mess that we have right over here, which we don't really want continuing to be a thing because we, well, don't really want someone walking in here and afterwards subsequently deciding that things are really not all that great for not getting caught, which will hopefully go fine, because we're just gonna leave this all over here and, well, it seems like Cyber's clearing the entire room, which is why we're just gonna dump all of this over here instead, because that's also a very valid option, which is why we're gonna go with exactly that, because, well, we're obviously gonna get a second Vault Keycard that we very, very much need, because, well, that's the only obvious answer over here. I mean, there's really no other feasible option, so you are not doing that. And now we get a keycard, because that's clearly the most useful sequence of events, which I guess is, I mean, sure, we'll get less cards eventually, which all in all is, well, helpful for us, but this is certainly an interesting combination that we really didn't need all that much, which, I mean, sure. And then we'll just dump all of that over there because we, well, once again, really probably don't need all of what's going on over here, which is amazingly hilarious, but I mean, we'll wait for a few more stuff to presumably go over here and then, well, interrogate them, because we kind of still need all of that intelligence that we will presumably need later on, so don't really know what Cyber's, I mean, sure, we'll leave them to it, and then we're just gonna go through here instead, and afterwards, well, try and start working on something else, which would be great and all, it's just that we, I mean, we've practically already cleared a map of guards, so we really managed to carry on with that and then take up this over here, which is once again not needed, but it's, well, at least slightly hilarious, and that's probably not the most important trait, but it's, well, at least slightly funny, so we'll just make sure everyone knows that the crowbar's over there before we go through here now, and then afterwards, well, find a panel over here that will hopefully involve Cyber interrogating some stuff relatively soon, which unfortunately does not seem to be possible, so we're just gonna wait over here and look for where you're gonna go, because we, unfortunately, I do not plan on hostaging you in front of the civilian over there and, well, everyone walking by right now, because that's generally a very bad idea for not getting caught, but we're fairly certain now that it's gonna be you, or at least you, so if either of you could just go somewhere at least minimally convenient, that would be absolutely fantastic, and we are not going over there, but instead we're just going to, I mean, you could walk in here, and then you could give us the stuff that we want, even though we're interrogating you right in front of the door, which probably isn't a great idea, but then again, we kind of really cleared all of the guards, which means that it probably isn't all that bad of an idea regardless, which really isn't a metric to follow, but it's working out just fine, so we'll ignore that. And then whenever we're feeling brazen enough, we're just gonna run through here and, well, things are gonna go just fine, which is great. Because you're gonna disable this right over. First of all, we're gonna flee from the guard because that's really not what we want, and then we'll just disable this instead because that's, well, maybe something that we want slightly more, which would be getting something done and not getting caught. So if you could just turn around right over here, that will be absolutely fantastic because we're gonna go over here and, well, you're not gonna care. So we'll disable this over here before we go through here now, and after we're just going to bring this bag somewhere, well, useful before we. That is not very useful, so we're just gonna slightly adjust that before we go through here, and afterwards, well, finally get the panels, or, well, the crates, or the cases over. Well, not over there, because it's. This is probably not a lesson, but we did just open both of these without getting caught, which doesn't really make it all that much better, just a bit more, well, incredible that it somehow worked, which is at least slightly to be expected, just maybe not all that much to be expected, which is fine and all. We're just gonna go over here and grab the bag over there, which, I mean, welcome back. We're just going to back this up right in front of you, and you're just going to not care, which I guess is favorable. It's just that we're just gonna bring this over here, and then afterwards find the remaining crates because we probably should take care of it relatively soon. And I mean, we could always work on all of these over here, which will probably mean that Cyber's going to be taking care of some of the bags over there, which is perfectly fine by me. We're just going to go over here and drop this off over here, which is fine and all. It's just that we kind of don't actually know where the remaining ones are, because we still have 2 more crates that we have to, well, open up. That you keep facing over there. That's absolutely perfect. It's just that this isn't really all that useful, so we're just going to go over here and get this over here, because, well, the last one's over there, and it's not over there, which isn't really the most, well, ideal way of describing it, but we're just gonna get this open over here. Listen, you're not gonna care at all. I'm just gonna back this up in front of you, and you're just gonna walk away, which is perfectly great. So we're just gonna go over here now, before we drop this off over here, and then, well, presumably Cyber's gonna grab that bag over there before we go to the vault over, well, there. Though first we actually need where the crowbar is, which it's not over here, so we kind of have to find somewhere else because we are not going to be grabbing a drill because it is, well, to say the least, awfully slow. So if, well, I guess that answers that. So presumably Cyber's going to be going for the vault, and we're going to be going for that last bag over there, which is simple enough. It's just that we. Why is that door open? You know what? Great question. Why is that door open? We're just gonna go back over here, and then we're just gonna run past over here because, well, that door's open, and that's definitely of, at the very least, like, concern. So we're just gonna go through here now, go through here, and then afterwards drop this over here, which is simple enough. And unfortunately, because it's reinforced cameras, we can't just, well, do that. But regardless, that's the daily challenge, just under 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Cheers everyone, have a great time.